Alright, Trets, hello, and this is I guess I'd call it the end of week recap. I only took the two trades this week in my previous video on the Aussie dollar short and the USD CAD long. And to be fair, it wasn't too bad. Losses, but no profits were made. So it's been pretty much, I would call it a flat week. I'd say maybe I'm down like 0.2%. So I was scaling into position. It in my favor strongly enough to get to break even, so I couldn't quite get risk off on both. So what I'll do is I'll just see how the Aussie dollar closed for the week. So I'll bring up the daily and just see. It sort of looks like it's going to be sideways on the daily. And well, okay, we saw it thinking about reversing. It didn't. And it's actually, I was along the Aussie dollar. I was looking to play risk. It was looking like risk was coming into the market. So when that happens, you've got the high beta pairs, such as the Aussie dollar, which we'll see potentially rally. But during that day, it actually offered a signal, and then it sort of shifted. So I think I was in at about here, and it didn't move enough in my favor to actually get to break even. So you have to find a balancing act between giving it enough room to breathe and also letting the trade play out. And I mean, I did have a stop loss in place, and it did. I did move it a little bit, and then it did come down, and that candle would have stopped me out. So that was, unfortunate. And now it's sort of flat, and I would say how it's closed is who knows. And the market's been very, wishy-washy in that it will rally a little bit and then it will pull back a little bit. And I mean, the US government's trying really hard to just continue to drive confidence with the stock market, but it's just a little, I mean, gold says it as well, a little bit of profit taking because it did hit nearly a 7-year high is what I think it actually did right there. If I can get the cursor there. And that was, the high there was 1737. I think even higher than that. I thought it might have kissed 1750. Maybe not. What's that? Yeah, 47. So it was a 7-year high. So it's rallying. It might be further correction here. We'll see. I just want to look at the Euro US dollar as well. I probably, what? I will be able to do a watch list video tomorrow. So I'd say that probably be what I'll do tomorrow, probably about the same time, maybe a little bit later. And Euro US is below that resistance level, so we can see we've seen a couple of retests there, as you can see. I mean, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's maybe going to wick up to 6, and it'd be nice if you could see a well-developed wick, strong sign of a reversal, and we could see some daily. You can see it's a downward trend. It's definitely had some nice pullbacks. This was, definitely inbound because it was really low in buys. Saw a lot of value there. In regards to the US economy against the European economy, it seems that safe haven flows are still present with people getting into the US dollar, but it's just not clear cut because we have a lot of deaths in the US. We haven't really seen the full scale of the situation because companies are still are floating still, but it only takes another month of closures, and then it could really cause some irreversible damage to some companies and their finances. And if some can't get either government bailouts or private investors come in to save them, it's just going to be pretty catastrophic for employment and economic activity. All right, S&P 500. Okay, it actually, look at it. I mean, it's strong, which that's what the market's saying. So it's bounced, and there we go. It's about 50% of what it was when it's maybe a little bit longer, maybe a bit more from when it initially started turning. So we'll see, what it wants to do on Monday and how the weekend goes for case numbers. But the US is certainly not going that well. But there's an infinite amount of money printing going on in the US, so it might just continue on until some companies really start coming out and saying, look, these are our numbers. So that could take another few months. But short term, I mean, if it's risk on, you just play it risk on during the day, like during the session, and we might see a gap up. I'd like to see that gap filled. I think it did actually. Still low that candle. 28.32, high that candle. 28.39. Okay, yeah. So I need to get my eyes checked. But yeah, it did gap up and then close the gap. So we could see a rally some more. But we'll see. We'll see what the sentiment is. Because it just changes all the time. It's hourly. It's headline driven, and but it seems to be, with how volatile it's been, it definitely seems to be the conviction is more bullish for the equity markets. But the Aussie dollar has been very choppy, so it's hard to play that as a beta currency, and sort of the flows into the Aussie dollar. Also, gold, was sold off strongly. And there's a little bit of a correlation to the Aussie into gold, I've found. Let's see what the USD. Yeah. I'm just seeing the time here. I don't want to dribble on too much. Pound's pretty flat. Saw a couple people talking about selling it, but it's like, well, to me, it's just there's not enough conviction there. A euro pound. So it closed under there. So we've got 86.93. So this could actually sell off some more. We'll see. Let's bring up the USD yen just to finish up, guys. USD CAD as well. Let's see if that strength. It sort of did strengthen a little bit. I think on the daily, it might have been. What candle was I getting into? It wasn't on the daily. It might have been this candle here. I really liked how it closed, and I got in the next day, and it didn't want to move. It moved a little bit in my favor, and then it pulled back, and I was like, okay, I'm out. Oil was sort of holding and wasn't selling off further, so that was really the main thesis for the trade. So I got out of that one. USD yen. Let's go to the daily. I always like a little bit of high time frame context here, and it's from regards of risk sentiment, it's in the middle here of this channel, so it's like, well, who knows? And that candle sort of looks bullish on the weekly. When a candle's like that, it sort of didn't close near its low at all, so I would say that's not bullish, but it's certainly not too bearish. It tried to rally a little bit but failed. I just see this consolidating and going sideways, to be fair. Let's see, silver. I thought I did click it. There we go. Alright, so silver's, it's like gold. It's actually holding up a little bit better than gold as well. So we'll see. I'll keep gold on watch for a buy potentially. It's going to have to sell for a little bit further. Euro pound, maybe a sell. Although it does look like UK is actually, it's not getting better in regards to the COVID situation, and Europe's sort of like, well, they're trying to sort of reopen. Construction is starting again in Spain and Italy, or one of the two. Sorry if I didn't quite get that right. And USD yen is pretty choppy, so it's hard to sort of get a feel for risk sentiment. USD CAD from there. Yeah, Aussie dollar. If equities are pretty strong on Monday, I contemplate buying Aussie dollar and seeing where it goes for the week. Alright guys, I'm going to finish that video for now. Watch list will be tomorrow. This was more of a recap just to see how the charts close. I like to do this on Saturday, just come on, and this is what I'd be doing if I didn't film and put on YouTube as well, just to see what happened to end the session, because I don't normally stay up. I get up pretty early on Saturday morning to do stuff, so I'm not going to, I used to do that. I used to wait for the candles to close. But anyway guys, watch list tomorrow about the same time. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.